Let's continue our coverage of the big Colt Gray news today, pleading guilty to all 55 counts against him. With some, giving us some analysis now, is a former Fulton County Assistant District Attorney, a noted defense lawyer right now, Darryl Cohen. Darryl, it's good to have you today.
Good morning. It's good to be here. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I hate to be here for this, though.
Under these circumstances, no doubt. But it is, tying the bow on a case that for 2 years has gripped this county, Barrow County. Today, perhaps they're getting a little bit of closure, and we're hearing that some in the victim impact statements. How important is that on a day like this?
The victim impact statements say everything. Those people in the community that were impacted, either directly or indirectly, have been given their chance to say to the court, this is horrible. Look what it has done to my life. Look what it's done to other lives. We can't deal with this, but they have to deal with it. The importance cannot be simple. It's major. It's as important as it could possibly be, other than the sentence that Colt Gray is going to receive.
And we expect to learn that sentence here soon. He's looking at either life in prison without parole or life in prison with parole. What is a judge weighing in this moment?
Well, first, it's not with parole. It's with the possibility of parole.
Tell me the difference.
Well,
there.
The difference is if you are guaranteed parole, at some point in time you will be released. But with the possibility of parole, the Board of Pardons and Paroles can say no, and that's spelled N-O in capital letters. Or they could say after 25 or 30 or 35 years, he's learned his lesson. We don't think he's a danger to the community any longer, and so we'll release him on parole.
Let's say he does have the possibility of parole. So if he has 25 years of good behavior and shows remorse, then it'll be up to a board to decide whether he can be released?
Correct, unless they change the law between now and then.
Gotcha. But he's also looking at the possibility of life in prison with no possibility of parole. What is a judge considering in this moment? What all is going through his head as he decides?
I think a judge is considering everything. What Colt Gray did, what happened because of him, the victims of his crime, the community that has to live with this, not just the parents, the relatives, the friends, the neighbors, the people that don't know anyone. They all live with this, and the judge realizes that this is impactful upon not just there, but in the entire country and possibly the world. This is not a small case. It's a case with legs that the media follows because it should, because it has to give a message to the world. You, Colt Gray, and any other would-be Colt Gray cannot do this. If you're upset, tell mom, tell dad, get counseling. And I think a lot goes through the judge's head, but basically the judge doesn't have a lot of choice. It's life with the possibility, not the probability of parole, or life without.
It wasn't that long ago we were talking about the trial of his father, Colin Gray, who was convicted, spending a number of years behind bars because of it. How important was that conviction in the defense's decision to not take this to trial, to enter the guilty plea?
Well, to start with, I think that Dad's conviction was extremely important because, once again, we're not specifically talking just about him. We're talking about any would-be parent who allows his or her child or children unfettered access to a gun, who provides a gun without the appropriate safeguards, without making sure that it's at a shooting range where my child shoots, that I'm taking him or her hunting, but I make sure that we have the safeguards in place that this cannot happen again. I mean, we hear all of the time, unfortunately, about someone leaving a weapon in his or her closet, a child takes it, fires it, someone gets killed. This is more than that. This is the availability and the probability that something was going to happen, though, of course, Dad could not have known in advance what his son would do, but he should have known what his son could do.
A lot of the children who were at school at the time took the stand during Dad's trial. It was a 2-week trial, if my memory serves. As a former DA, how difficult is it to prepare children to get up there on the stands?
Not at all. You let them talk. You give them the story. You always want them to tell the truth, but their raw emotion will tell those 12 men and women of the jury exactly what they went through and what they're continuing to go through. This is not difficult to prepare them on a case like this. Other cases, not so much.
Interesting. Darryl, anything else you're watching for today as this thing wraps up?
I would hope that Colt Gray apologizes. I don't know that it will make a difference in the sentence or in what people think, but it would be appropriate at least for him to apologize for what he did to so many lives by both ending them and making others that are still living live it every single day.
Darryl Cohen, thank you for your time.
Thanks.